talk about today some of the video games that are coming out in 2020. These are some games that are going to be popular. These are going to be some of the games that I actually like, some of the games that I'm excited for, some of the games that I'm going to buy when they come out. So let's get started. Persona 5 Royal, the new game from Atlus that's going to be based in the main series of the Persona series. It's kind of like Persona 4 Golden, where Persona 4 Golden was kind of an expansion of Persona 4, and how Persona 5 Royal, that's going to kind of be another expansion of that game, where there's going to be a new semester in that game. There's going to be new characters, new events, new activities, new things, maybe even a new villain. I don't know. Hopefully some of the events kind of change from that game. Hopefully some of the things that you can do in that game can kind of change, specifically featuring Goro Akechi. He seems to be a character that maybe you can influence now, instead of what happening to him in that video game happening to him, or maybe he just dies like he did in the original Persona 5. Spoiler alert if you didn't play the original Persona 5. Moving on to the video game that is going to be released on Friday, the new Dragon Ball game. When I made a video about this video game a couple of months ago, I left that video thinking it could be something kind of interesting, but I want to see more. And I have seen more. I've seen an additional hour plus of gameplay for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I love what they've done with the action RPG elements to it, the open world, the fighting. That seems to be a combination of, obviously, action RPG, but also that Dragon Ball Z style of gameplay that you see in a lot of the traditional Dragon Ball Z games, like Dragon Ball Z Raging Blast 2, Dragon Ball Z, all of the new ones, all of the new Dragon Ball Z games. I don't know what the hell they're called. They've made like 80 million of those Dragon Ball Z games, but that style of combat where you're flying around and you can charge up your ki, it's kind of like Naruto, except if Naruto could fly, essentially. But it's better in my opinion than Naruto. But that game, I wasn't going to get it at first. I wasn't going to buy it at first, but then I saw some more gameplay. I saw some new gameplay, and I'm like, all right, I gotta check it out. I gotta spend some money. I want to see what's going on in the new Dragon Ball Z game. Just want to check it out just a little bit. Can I kind of piss on the bonfire just for like a couple of seconds? I'm not very excited for this video game. I don't know why everybody thinks this is going to be a great remake of Final Fantasy VII. Considering that Final Fantasy VII, when we're talking about the graphics of the video game, of course, when we're talking about how it looked originally, I think in 1997, like it was Squaresoft's first attempt into 3D polygons. Like it didn't look very good comparably to what they did in the next couple of years with Final Fantasy IX and Final Fantasy VIII and even Final Fantasy X for that matter. So it didn't look good originally. Now it's going to look great, obviously, but I mean, it worries me. It worries me because of some of their more recent games, like Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15. Does the video game not worry any of you? Does Final Fantasy 7 Remake not worry any? Am I the only one that's a little bit pessimistic about the video game? It's a video game that everybody's excited for, but I'm like, I'll pass. Hopefully it's better than I think. Hopefully I didn't piss on your bonfire. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I'll pass. I'll pass. Halo Infinite is another video game that I'm going to have to pass on as well. Not that excited about the Halo series. Want to know why I'm not excited about the Halo series? But I know a lot of people are going to buy it because it's Halo. But a lot of people are excited about the Halo series because it's Halo and it has Master Chief in it and all that good stuff. And it's probably going to be bundled with the new Xbox console. It's what Xbox and Microsoft use, the Halo series, of course, to like sell crap, to sell copies and to make money. And I don't know, like, can anyone tell me what this new video game is gonna be about? I get it, Master Chief is just a Halo is a selling point, like, oh my god, it's a Halo game, you gotta buy it, 24. But I mean, there's gotta be something else to it. There's gotta be something new, there's gotta be something fresh. And I don't see it. I don't know what the game is about. I saw one trailer. I've seen the trailer everybody's seen. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know. I've seen a lot of gameplay though of Doom Eternal. I know what to make of that game. That's gonna be a fun demon slashing, shredding video game. It's gonna be a pretty fun first-person shooter. I know what that game's all about. I don't know what the hell Halo Infinite is gonna be about. But also another first-person shooter, kind of. It's a first-person parkour RPG. I don't know what the hell Dying Light 2, you know what I mean. Dying Light 2. When Dying Light, the first one, came out in like 2013 or 2012 or whatever, it was supposed to come out, it was 2015, it was 2015. I played that game and I purchased it and I was like, this is okay. It's not something that I thought would have gotten a sequel, but when it got a sequel and I saw the gameplay for it and I did a video on it, a video game analysis of Dying Light 2, I was very, very impressed. I was very, very happy with what I saw. I couldn't believe how great it actually looked and how it played. And Dying Light 2, it looks like a proper video game. It looks really, really nice. I was very, very surprised with how good of a video game Dying Light 2 looked when it came to the gameplay. I also love the story of the video game. I love how I love the choices that you have with the video game as well. I like how it's not just gameplay oriented, because the story, I can't even remember anything about that story, the original Dying Light 2, but it looks like the story, you have a lot more influence on it. You can control how certain characters live and die and what exactly the people around you do and some of the choices that you have. It looks like a very, very interesting video game that has some really, really nice game mechanics and some nice story mechanics as well. So Dying Light 2, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm interested in it. I'm not excited. I'm interested in what it's going to be when it releases. God knows when it's going to be released. I don't know when it's going to be released. But talking about a game that I kind of don't know what it's going to be, Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima is a weird game because there was some gameplay that was released at a PlayStation Experience that when I first looked at it, I was like, this doesn't really look like what I saw in 2018. Then I went back and I looked at the gameplay in 2018, and then I looked at some of the gameplay again. I compared and contrast, and I was like, it looks the same, but it was just a really, really bad released video. Like, I didn't like what they did. I didn't like the that's just bad advertisement, to be honest with you. But I think the gameplay is still there. I think that it's probably going to be one of the best PlayStation exclusives coming out this year. If really, it's probably besides The Last of Us Part 2, it's probably one of the only big PlayStation exclusives that's going to be released this year. But it looks great. I love the gameplay. I love the style of combat. I love that it's going to be in feudal Japan. I also love that it's kind of this, I love the atmosphere and how there's like leaves and there's flowers kind of just flowing everywhere. I love the element. I love the atmosphere. I cannot wait to see another game by Sucker Punch, the developer that created the infamous series. I can't wait to see what they have to do with this game, Ghost of Tsushima. I think it's going to be released late 2020. I don't know when the release date is, but I'm very, very excited for this video game. Cyberpunk 2077. I mean, I don't even need to elaborate. Probably it's going to be the best game of the year. If not, it's going to come up as a runner. If not, it's going to be a runner-up to The Last of Us Part 2. But Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be released in April. I cannot wait for Cyberpunk 2077. I cannot wait for another video game by CD Projekt Red. It's kind of like CD Projekt Red has kind of turned into Rockstar, and their video games have kind of turned into GTA, where you just have to take off time. You have to take off time from work to play some of these video games. Like, you take off Friday and you take off Monday. It's kind of like that, where you just have to, punch out a lot of time to be able to play these games, because they're going to be events. They're going to be these experiences and these events that you're going to talk about, in the next couple of weeks and the months and the years that follow. It's going to be a video gaming event for video gamers that love single-player stories. I can't wait for Cyberpunk 2077 to come out, just like how I can't wait for The Last of Us Part 2 to come out. 2020, weirdly enough, seems like a 2015 type of year, where you have like The Witcher 3 and you have Metal Gear Solid 5 on the same docket, on the same year. And this year it's like you have The Last of Us Part 2 and you have Cyberpunk 2077. Two great games in their own right that are going to garner a lot of attention from the industry, and that are probably going to sell a bunch of copies, and people are going to love these games for years to come. And it's going to be really, really hard to tell which game is going to be the game of the year. The Last of Us is going to be a continuation of the Last of Us series, obviously. The Last of Us Part 2, of course. And it just seems like a really, really fantastic adaptation of the old The Last of Us, all the way back in 2013, 2012. I think that's when it was released, 2013, 2012, somewhere around there. but it seems like a great adaptation of the series. It seems like a great evolution of the series. It's like, weirdly enough, if you watch the gameplay, it looks like they just did it looks like they just evolved the exact same stuff that they did, going all the way back to the first video game, going back to The Last of Us, the original. Like, the menus are still the same, the crafting is still the same, the exploration, the combat, but it all just seems like they adapted it to the PS4 and the PS5. It seems like they just are going into the future with The Last of Us. I can't wait I can't wait for The Last of Us Part 2 to come out in May. I can't wait for Cyberpunk 2077. Hell, I can barely wait for Friday, when Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is supposed to come out, and I didn't even expect this game to be as good as I thought it was going to be, but we'll see on Friday. We'll see about all these games when they come out. This has been 24. Remember to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe for more. 2020 seems to be a really, really nice year for video gaming. I think that the expectations for some of these games, in the sense that some of these games are going to be the game of the year, or at least the game of the year contenders, I think some of these games are going to meet and exceed some of these expectations. But until my next video, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.